In today's episode, we're going to talk about choosing your legacy and how to do it today.
Your someday starts today. It's time to explore and test the newest science, methods, and trends for creating a life you love with your host, Tanya MFK. Welcome to My Designed Life.
Hello everyone, welcome to My Designed Life, where we learn and test the latest science, tips, tools, and strategies for you to create your best life every day. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at My Designed Life Show and at Tanya MFK. And if watching videos isn't your thing, then head over to My Designed Life podcast and catch the audio. I'm Tanya MFK, and thank you for being here. In our last episode, we met with Alexandria Tomiko and talked about creating time for yourself. And the truth is, there's no secret hack for it. It's about making it a priority. It's about grabbing a calendar and treating the things that you want to do like an appointment, giving it the same respect that you would for a client meeting or a doctor's appointment. She gave us several examples and styles for creating our personal goals and desires, and then showed us step by step how you can make time for it. Then we were challenged to create a morning and evening routine to stick to for the week. Fortunately for me, I had been 5 weeks in on my new routine of getting to bed early and waking up at 4 a.m. So I was able to slip into the routine part relatively effortlessly. But my evening routine wasn't as tight as I'd like it to be. So this challenge really pushed me to get into bed at the right time that I needed in order to fall asleep and actually feel good waking up at 4 a.m., right? Waking up at 4 a.m. is only part of it. You actually want to feel good at that time. And actually, I even want to go further to 3:30 a.m., but that's a work in progress for another show. So overall, this week was pretty fantastic, and it made me really get steadfast in my evening routine and pushed me further into the type of life and day that I want for my best self. Because the truth is, I feel better when I take care of myself first thing in the morning, and I sleep better and fall asleep faster when I end my day in peace and calmness. And that's what that evening routine is really for. It helps prepare that next morning. So if you want to learn more about doing your AM, PM routines and creating time for yourself, then make sure to check our last episode, aptly named How to Create Time for Yourself, and get on with creating your best day now.
Welcome to My Designed Life.
So now for today, we are talking about legacy, that thing that stays behind when you're long gone. That echo that continues to resonate when you're no longer here, the thing that inspires others to walk in your footprints, and that piece of yourself that stays behind and lives on and continues to affect others. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "The greatest gift is a portion of thyself." Your ability to impact others is not reserved for exceptional leaders or famous people. You are influencing and affecting those around you every day. Good or bad, intentional or not, it's happening. You're not invisible. Have you ever taken time to step back and ask yourself, how do I want to be remembered? What mark do I want left on the world? What will my legacy be? And perhaps you have thought of it, but that's where most of us stop. Because the truth is, there's no such thing as required homework in life. So there's nothing that really pushes us to take a step further and really put in some time, thought, and effort into this. So we live our lives doing the best we can. And then when we're gone, someone else tells our story. Someone else shares how we'll be remembered. Well, in the vein of designing my own life, this does not resonate well with me. I want to live intentionally in my legacy now. I want to be an active participant and consciously create a life worth remembering. There is a great quote that says, "You can't make footprints in the sand of time by sitting on your butt. And who wants to leave butt prints in the sand of time?" So in that vein, as I was researching this topic, I found many articles that attempt to actually tell you how to live your life to leave a legacy. I am not going to do that here. Instead, what I want to do is share an action step, a practice that will help you identify not only how to be remembered, but how to be mindful in embodying that person now. And that step is to write your own obituary. It's not as morbid as it sounds. I know, I get it. But really what it is an opportunity to give proper time to think about what life you are living and how it will connect to the impact you are trying to create and leave behind. Now I have a worksheet that you can download at a link right below. So just enter your email and it'll be sent to you right away. So I'm going to go ahead, we're going to go through the questions here. If you want to grab that worksheet, try to follow along, or perhaps just let the questions kind of sit with you and see what it pulls out, see what feelings and thoughts come, and then go ahead and fill that out at a later date. All right. So here we go with our first question on the obituary list. It really starts out strong right out of the gate. So the first question is, what age did you die? What year would this be? Now, this is tough for a lot of reasons, right? It really makes you look at some stuff. For myself, it made me even start looking at, well, what is the average lifespan? And I had to think about my own health. Like, what was actually possible with the life I'm living, the life I want to live, and what science says is possible. So I decided I wanted to make it to 98. Yes, 98, a healthy, vibrant 98. I cannot fully explain why, but the other ages just seemed too soon for me. So for me, it was 98, and that year is going to be 2078 for me. All right, so take your time to kind of really think about this, look at it, see what makes sense, and give yourself a timeline, really. So now the next question is, do you have any family left behind? And the reason for this, again, is to put some perspective into things, right? So I have one son, and I'm not planning on having any more kids. I'm up there on the age scale, and despite all my family requests, sorry guys, I'm done. So some of you younger people, this is really a great time to ask yourself if you see family of your own in your future. Or perhaps you want to leave it to cousins, nieces, nephews, or some wonderful non-blood family members. You know, in many obituaries, you'll see the statement, he or she is survived by, and they will list the immediate family members. So this is really a time for you to kind of take stock of your life and think about those people who will still be around, still be behind, the people that you will be affecting and that you are currently affecting, right? So our next question is, what are these people's ages? Now, the questions, again, really make you put this into context of the real year by looking at the ages of others. So it lets you quantify the years that you are working with, and it makes it all more real. So let this be a reality check and a motivation of what you want to do with the time that you have left. And now for our next question, what are the major accomplishments in your life? Now remember, we're forward and we're looking back. So as you look back, you can put yourself up there and then look back. What are those major accomplishments that you want to see? So what were the things that the person would describe? Did you write that book? Did you start that business, create that organization, or take that trip, learn that instrument, or perhaps mend that relationship? So take time to scan your hopes and dreams and write them as results. What do you want to do and accomplish before your time is up? And get specific. What book did you write? How did it do? What was it about? Expand as much as you can on this, allowing it to really become the blueprint of how to get some of these things started now. And for our next question, again, looking back, what are you most remembered for? While you may certainly be remembered for your accomplishments, this area is really more for the traits and personality that will live on. You know, was it your reliability, continued honesty, kindness, perseverance, and resilience? Or perhaps it was the way that you kept your hair dyed pink until you were a great grandma, or the way your house always smelled like fresh bread, or how you remembered everyone's birthday from the mailman to the grocery store clerk. Write down the things that you want to be remembered for. And then looking at our next question, what did you truly stand for? Beside your accomplishments and impressions on others, what would other people say that you stood for? What were the principles or beliefs that you demonstrated in your life? Perhaps it was your faith, or for love and equality, or taking care of the planet, or political involvement. When people think back on you, what would you like it to be clear that you were about? That they go, oh yeah, that was the thing. So to put it in a silly preference, let's say, vanilla ice cream. You're really about vanilla ice cream. So do you have posters up on your wall about vanilla ice cream? Do you talk about vanilla ice cream all the time? Do you buy vanilla ice cream all the time? Those things that people go, yeah, she was definitely about vanilla ice cream, right? Like that was so clear. So again, this is a part for you to really think, what was I about? What did I stand for? Okay. Maybe standing for vanilla ice cream is a little weird, but maybe you did. And then our next question is, what did you accomplish between your death and where you are now? It is so easy to get stuck on our accomplishments and experiences of the past. Like perhaps you were a high school football star, or got your master's degree, landed your dream job, or got married, or had your 3 wonderful children or grandchildren. That's great. #blessed. But we cannot be defined by our past. What would you like to accomplish moving forward from now until the end? So think about that. What lies ahead for you to do and still make an impact from now moving forward? And now for our next question, what were the last 10 years of your life like? Maybe you were still focused on your life's work. Perhaps you were relaxing with your family, or maybe traveling the world. Think of what age you'll be. So for me, looking at my age 98 of passing away, the last 10 years would be from age 88 to 98. So taking that into consideration of what shape I might be in or feel like doing, what would I like those last 10 years to look like? Maybe there are things that you want to make sure you're still involved in. And on the other side, perhaps there are things you want to make sure you're no longer doing. Maybe there's some habits that it's time to break. And you're like, by the time I'm 80, I still do not want to be doing X, Y, Z. Or I definitely want to finally be doing these things. So really ask yourself, what do those last 10 years look like? So again, this is something we rarely think about, right? By doing this, you are really setting an intention and, like I said, creating that blueprint for what you want your life to look like. And for our next question, again, looking back, what were you most proud of? From accomplishments to the work or existence of others, what will you look back on your life and be the most proud of? What will others know that you were the most proud of? Maybe it was your classic car collection, or maybe you were just so proud at your niece's graduation, or your own work and the impact that it had. So what will it be? Now, these questions, guys, these are meant to hit hard. They are meant to be a wake-up call. They're meant to make you think, to give you an opportunity to ask yourself at any age, who do I want to be when I grow up? We get to choose our future. We get to create a roadmap. Life does not have to happen by default. Will there be some deviations along the way? Absolutely. That is life. We don't have control, but we do have power. We have the power to make decisions, to set destinations, to be the architect of what we do and who we become. So I recommend doing this practice on a yearly basis, because if you are living a life of conscious design, then you are growing and evolving every day, month, and year. And your end game should match who you are constantly becoming. It's also really a beautiful thing to review each year to see where you are, where your mind was, and where it's at now. For some of you will say, oh, amazing, I'm right on track. And for others, you may go, wow, I don't even want that anymore. Let's update this thing. So again, this really serves as that compass, not just for your future, but for your choices and actions today. So if you have the worksheet in front of you, you will also see that there's a section for reflection questions, right? These 3 important questions for you to really see, looking at what you want for your future, how you can put some of that legacy into motion now. So question number 1 in the reflection section is, what are you doing in your life now to make this ending a reality? Perhaps you want an impact of helping others, and you know that you're like, well, I'm volunteering and I'm doing this. Great. Start to really take stock of those actions. Give yourself some kudos and pat on the back of what you're actually doing now, which also may bring up some of the additional things you want to do, right? So what are you doing now that is going to make this ending you've described a reality? And then the second question, would those around you be clear that these are the things that were most important to you and what you stood for? So kind of like the vanilla ice cream example earlier, what are things that you are doing, your actions, your attitudes, that make it clear to others that the things that you've set for your future, that they're the most important to you and what you stood for. How are you showing that now? Are you living a life that others are aware that this is what matters to you? Okay, so answer that question, give some examples, kind of make it clear and real for yourself. And again, just confirming whether you're right on track or there's some adjustments that you want to make. And then question 3, what can you do today? And I mean literally today, as you're listening to this. I don't mean today in the theme of like this year, but I mean today, before you go to sleep, to live this life right now. Maybe it's a phone call you need to make, or a decision you need to make, or an action that you can take right now. So what can you do today to live this life that you've envisioned for your future, that the legacy you want to live? How can you live it right now? So take your time with this worksheet and these questions. You are creating a vision, a game plan. It can be emotional. It can be exhilarating. It can be incredibly clarifying. Because we don't discover clarity as some hidden gem. It's really something we uncover through the right questions. It's just that we're rarely asked the right questions. So may this exercise be a healthy, path-lighting challenge for you to guide yourself to the impact and legacy you want to leave behind, but more so the life that you want to live today. So I want to leave you with this quote: "To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the beauty in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child or a garden patch or a redeemed social condition, to know that one life has breathed easier because you lived here, this is to have succeeded." So remember, you can download the obituary worksheet called Master Your Ending at the link below. We'll also post it in the comments in the show notes. I would love to hear how it went for you. So please tag me in your conclusions and use the hashtag #MyLegacy. If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe to one of our channels and be notified when our next show is up. There's more to a design life than ideas and theories. So here we are always about taking action. What can you actually do to create a life that you love? You can also connect with me on social media at My Design Life Show and at Tanya MFK on Facebook and Instagram, and learn more about our courses, workshops, and retreats at TanyaMFK.com. Thanks again for being here. Remember, your someday starts today. Make it the best. I'm Tanya MFK. See you next time. Thanks for joining us. You can catch us every week at 1 p.m. EST live on the My Design Life Show Facebook page and on YouTube at the Tanya MFK channel. See how the challenges go by following us on Facebook and Instagram at My Design Life Show and at Tanya MFK. Do you have a method, tip, or hack you'd like to share or explore? Submit to be a guest or suggest a topic by visiting mydesignlife.show.